Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we're talking about Splito.
That's right. This is from 25th Century Games. It is designed by Luc Raymond and Romaric Gaulanier. And so this is a game that is basically kind of a weird game where you are not playing cards in front of you. You're playing cards to either side of you. So if you're in a circle, you're playing cards to your left and to your right. And you're trying to get the most amount of points. There's all these different objectives, but you can draft the objectives and you get a chance to draft the cards that fulfill the objectives. Let me give you a quick overview of how to play. Alright, the setup for Splito is pretty easy. We have a large deck of cards here. We're basically going to shuffle it up, and then we're going to deal out cards to the center of the table until we have gotten one moon card and one star card. Those are basically going to be public objectives that we're all trying to go for. And all the cards in this deck are either going to be one of 6 suits or one of 6 numbers. And so over here, this one, for instance, says having a strict majority of those yellow cards. This one says having a strict majority of 4s. All right, so then after that, after you have those 2 scoring objectives out there, shuffle all the cards that were revealed back into the deck. All players are going to get 13 cards. All right, so once you get your cards, you're going to look at them. You're going to see a variety of things. You're going to see the cards themselves, they're the various numbers, and then you're going to see scoring cards as well. They're going to have a certain objective on them, and then they're going to have an amount of points that they're worth at the end of the game. So this particular one says, if you have 15 cards or more in this zone, it'll be worth 1 point. This particular one says, if you have at least 5 different colors and 5 different values in this particular zone, it'll be worth 3 points. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one of these cards. Let's start off with that one. That looks pretty fun. We'll take that card. We're going to pass our cards to the left, and we're going to place this face down in front of us. Our friends here, they're going to help us as well. They're going to pick this card. Get ready to pass this one. He's going to take this card. Pass the rest over to me. Now, everyone's going to flip over their cards they wanted to play. But instead of playing them in front of each other, what we're going to do is we are going to play to the side of one another. So there's actually going to be 3 different piles of cards. One in between me and this character, one between me and this character, and another one between the 2 characters. This game plays between 3 and 8 players, so basically no matter how many players there are, there's going to be 1 pile between each player. So let's say I wanted to put this card between us over here. He's also going to play this card over here between us, and this one got played between them. That's really all there is to the game. We'll keep on getting a new hand of cards. We're going to choose one of the cards out of the hand, and we're going to place it on either to our left or to our right, in between our players, to our left or to our right. So you want to kind of build up both piles up score-wise equally. And the reason is, at the end of the game, your personal score is going to be whatever the pile to your left is, point-wise, multiplied by the pile of points on your right. So if you had 5 points over here and 5 points over here, you'd get 25 points. But if you had, let's say 10 points over here, which is a ton, and you only had 2 points over here, your total score would only be 20. As more and more cards get played, you're going to see whether you're getting closer or farther away from various scoring parameters. So for instance, if you wanted to try to make sure you get 5 different colors and 5 different numbers, you're going to be trying really hard you and your partner both are going to be trying to funnel cards into here to make that work. And don't forget, we also have those 2 scoring, those public scoring cards in the middle there. So you want to do whatever you can to try to get those over to your piles as well. There may be some times where you get cards in your hand that's going to cause you to get negative points or cause you to basically miss out on one of your scoring opportunities. So that's kind of one of the things you have to deal with in this game. But basically, we're going to play until all the cards are played. And at that point, we're going to add up all the points from each pile, multiply them to your left and to your right, and that's going to be your final score. Whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins.
As a lot of you know, Ryan and I play a lot of 2-player games, and so whenever there's a game that has a 2-player variant, I just don't believe that it's true. But I do appreciate when you say it plays 3 to 8, but there's a 2-player variant.
Which is what
it says. So I like that. You're not lying to me. With that said, the 2-player variant actually worked pretty okay.
Yeah, you're basically adding into 2 pools that you're both working off of, or that you're just working off of, and then you're multiplying those together instead of having any interaction really between the players.
Yeah.
You're drafting a whole bunch of cards. You're basically doing a double long game, which means a whole lot of cards out there, which is fun.
Lots of cards, but it worked out.
This is very clear. The scoring capabilities are very clear to me. They use the word exactly or exact, and they mean exact.
Exactly.
So if you have exactly 2 of these cards in your pile, you're going to score this particular objective. Now, if you have 3, that's not exactly 2, is it? Now,
No.
if it says you need to have exactly one of each color and no duplicates, that mean no
One
duplicates. It means
of each
one of
color.
each color. So I thought that was very clear. All the objectives were very clear. The cards themselves were clear. The colorblind friendly, so that way, they have colors, they also have patterns with them. Everything was abundantly clear to me.
Okay, so one of the interesting things about this is you're drafting and you're getting the cards and you're getting the objectives and you're trying to figure out what you're doing. But then towards the end, like the last 3 or 4 cards that you're drafting are kind of scary because they could really mess with the system that you have. Or you could draft a scoring card that you're not even, it's just like wasting up space. But then you might have another card that you're trying to score that has to do with how many cards you have. And you have to draft that card and you have to put it here because you can't put it there. Because if you put it on your other side, then you're going to ruin that scoring thing. And so the last couple of cards make a huge difference and you can really like mess up your scoring or have like a moment when you're scoring.
It's also really fun if you can do it perfectly. You can actually send, if you're watching everybody's stuff, you can
Yes.
send them cards that's going to be
You
bad for
totally
them
can.
and only, so that's a lot of fun. This is actually perfectly balanced between players. When you're using the 3 to 8 player rules, which is of course the main rules, it's perfectly balanced because you're only ever concerned with the 2 people to your left or right. So it doesn't matter whether it's 3 people are on the table or 8. You're just worried about your pile, and you're going to multiply those 2 at the end of the game. You're working together cooperatively with that person, cooperatively with this person. So no matter how many players you have, it's going to work out. And if it's the scoring can get a little bit confusing if you're kind of verbally doing it, especially with the higher player counts.
Yeah.
The score pad is actually very, very friendly with this. It kind of shows you, okay, list all the players you have in order, list what the score is for that particular
With the
pile
stuff
in
in
between
between,
them,
yeah.
and then multiply them together. That funnels down for that player's final score.
Yeah.
It made it as clear as possible because verbally you're like, I've got 7, I've got 10, I've got 12, I've got whatever, but if it's written down, it's perfectly clear. You can't mess it up. And everybody has to kind of look at and see what the scores are.
Yeah, so this game was cute. It was fun. I liked it. If you're wanting something quick to play for higher players, but not a party game, this might be something that you'd be interested in.
I agree. It's a great opener when you're trying to figure out, like, before you separate into 2 groups of 4 or whatever, you want to play something with a larger group that's not, a silly party game. It's still a game. This is a great choice. It reminds me of combining aspects like point salad, where you're drafting the objectives, but it's also the ingredients. It reminds me of that a little bit. But also the scoring between 2 cities or between 2 castles of Mad King Ludwig, where you're working with the person next to you. Those 2 kind of games combined, but kind of distilled down to a really, really small box. It's portable. So, that's Splito.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. Until then, you can find us in all of these places.
You guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
You guys, thanks so much for watching. This game was provided to us by a publisher in exchange for a fair and honest review.
And if you want to see more stuff, check out over here to see something we think you might like.
And over here, we think that YouTube has picked out a great video for you you're going to love. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.